Morale is down. The vibes are immaculate here in Calgary, Dregs. Tough one.
Yeah, I caught part of it. So
Sorry about the F-bombs.
I'm guessing that we have concerns with the officiating review, all of that.
Well, we were saying that Rhett's kids said the refs screwed us. And Rhett said, let me tell you something. Grab a chair, hop on old dad's knee if you want to hear about getting screwed by the
Go in the crease. I was there. I saw
VHS tape right over there. The one that says 99.
I was in the building. I saw it firsthand. I was there for that. But
yeah,
I mean, look, if we're referring to the kicked in goal last night, that wasn't, or the goalie interference, all of that. I mean, for me, it goes hand in hand. It's the intensified time of year. So the players, they're running full octane. Likewise for the coaches, at least, that's the acknowledgement that I get from hockey operations of the National Hockey League and from the head of officiating on an annual basis. And this year is no different. The only thing I will submit, and so I have no problem with hearing from the Flames dressing room and their concerns. That's being honest. I mean, you feel like you got cheated. You feel that way, right? Heat of the moment, that's how you see it. And then Brendan Gallagher last night, post-game in Montreal, after that loss to the Flyers, I mean, he went off like a rocket. I don't know if you guys heard that sound, but he called them incompetent. He went hard, and talked. I think he was talking about the Situation Room and stating that they don't know the game. Well, okay, that's where it's not my job to defend, but I can push back on that a little bit because, you've got Colin Campbell, who is the head of that department. You can argue maybe you shouldn't be anymore, right? I mean, make the full scale changes, get fresh thinkers, eyes, everything in there. But he was a longtime player, coach, was in management, now has been in the office of hockey operations at the NHL level forever. Chris King, former player, has been in hockey ops for a long, long time. Kay Whitmore, former goalie, in hockey ops for a long, long time. Rod Pasma. I mean, go down the list here, right? And all of these men have been involved since the adopting of the video review process. So they were the guys that this whole process was kind of built around to oversee. And then let's fast forward to last week, right? And you've got the general managers in a room. Craig Conroy was there. Kent Hughes and the Montreal Canadiens, they were there. They looked at those 54 goalie interference plays and agreed in a majority fashion with 52 of the 54. So the takeaway was, now the room is calling it the way that it should be called. And if the call on the ice is no goal or good goal, make sure you've got the irrefutable evidence to overturn that call on the ice, to overturn the judgment of the on-ice crew. And, all managers were basically in lockstep. So now you come to this week, where's the disconnect here? Like, is that messaging not moving down from the manager to the coach and then to the players? Like, heat of the moment
are so high, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, it's the time of year.
It wouldn't move down either. To answer your question, Conroy wouldn't come down and tell the guys they're doing a good job of calling from the replay room.
Yeah. But, I think it was Gallagher who referenced the Palmieri disallowed goal on Merzlikins, right? The Islanders and the Blue Jackets last week. And I mean, everybody looks at that and goes, well, how is that not a goal? Like, but again, I don't want to sound like I'm defending the league in this. I went through that whole process with them last week and it opened my eyes a little bit. That doesn't mean that whole process shouldn't be scrutinized moving forward. I mean, the obvious step for me would be to, bring all coaches into that room and go through that same process. So every coach can look at the 50 toughest goalie interference calls that they've gone through this year. Do it in the off season so these guys aren't worrying about stuff they shouldn't have to worry about, but then get their viewpoint on it. And then, send every clip you have to send, like those issues that we saw last night involving the Flames and then involving the Montreal Canadiens. Why wouldn't you isolate those clips with a full-on explanation and either send them out with a full video? They do explain briefly. And I think Eric Francis actually quoted Rod Pasma, right, from the Situation Room. Send that to every goalie. And I don't care if those goalies get 100 of them a year. Okay, here's a 2-minute video explanation of why this was called goalie interference in this game, between the Islanders and the Blue Jackets. And maybe the goalie then can look at it and go, okay, I don't necessarily agree with it, but at least I understand it. And I think that's where the breakdown happens across the league, from player to coach, from coach, player to management to the head office of the National Hockey League.
Did you see the comments from Farabee last night? Because you had mentioned going to the room. I don't know if that was just the Gallagher reference or the Flames reference from last night.
Well, no.
He just said if the ref told me if it was glove side, it would have been a goal, but it was blocking side, so it's not a goal.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand that. Yeah,
it sounds like
understand that.
Yeah.
Now maybe he's misheard something, but it's just it feels like there's so much interpretation.
We can move on. It's kind of this is an age-old thing.
It is age-old, especially this time of year, as you said, Boomer. Every year we go through this. It's just what makes it more absurd is that the league just went through it in an exhaustive fashion with their general managers, and yet here we are going through.
I'll tell you what happened at that meeting. Kind of like when we talk about this,
right? Yeah,
the GMs just kind of.
Yeah.
Well,
all in favor? Aye.
Well,
do we go for lunch? Is that yes? Good.
On Tuesday,
time.
Tuesday on TSN, we're having this argument. Jeff O'Neill goes, "You know what they were watching in that meeting? Those meetings, cartoons. That's what they were." And I'm like, they weren't watching cartoons.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out more of our content right here on the Flames Nation YouTube page. We had a bunch of great long-form interviews. You can check out some videos we've done as well outside of the studio. And of course, if you want more writing or merchandise stuff, flamesnation.ca or nationgear.ca. Appreciate you watching.